There's two things that I wanted to learn: Remix and a headless CRM called Strapi. And I didn't want to waste a whole 2 weeks trying to learn this. I just wanted to take a couple of hours and have something up and running. And yes, I did it. There's a process that I've been going through for over a decade, and it's helped me learn technologies, specifically tech stacks, quickly. And I'm going to share exactly what I did. So as you can see in here, Remix has a quick start of 5 minutes and a tutorial of 30 minutes. I didn't even want to spend that much time. But I do have experience in other frameworks like Next and others. So I'm able to take my previous knowledge and apply it quickly. But how do I do that? Specifically, what you can start doing is you need a good starting point. And how? There's things like starters. Sometimes they're called starter kits. You could find different starters that you can buy. Sometimes they are free. They're on GitHub. There's demo apps. There's CLI tools like Create React Native App and others that'll give you a starting point that's stable, that's working. There's no bugs, or at least relatively no bugs, and you can work off of that. But I don't use it as a template per se. I use it as a way to learn, starting with reverse engineering from the back to the front. So I'm going to show you specifically a wonderful starter that was created by Paul Bretzlavsky. I'm so sorry, Paul, if I pronounced your last name incorrectly. And Trisha Cat. I hope I got one of your names correct. But you guys created a wonderful starter, and it's here on this page. I'll link to it. Just follow the steps. But basically what it does is it creates a Remix app and a Strapi app. It seeds it with content, and they're both integrated to each other. So you have a fully functional integration of Strapi into a Remix app. And that's beautiful because that's what I want to do. So if you go ahead and clone this repo and have it running, they created a yarn dev script. You just run this and it'll run both the Remix app and the Strapi CRM. And then locally you'll have it running on localhost. So as you can see, there's already a fully functioning Remix app here. It's pulling that data from the headless CRM in Strapi. And apart from this, I wanted to learn Remix, but I also wanted to kind of expand my skill set and try to be a little bit more creative and change the color thing. Now, I'm left brain biased. I do have some kind of right brain somewhere there. So everything design related that I'm going to talk about right now, please do not think that I am some design expert. But I did get some really good results based on some tools that I'm going to share. So I'll go ahead and change the theme here, and I'm going to change the branch to the theme. As you're going to see here, I completely changed the whole color scheme of the Remix app. And I mean, it's pretty nice. It doesn't look terrible, but as you can see, it looks almost completely different as the original. But I really didn't change much. All I did was changed a couple of Tailwind classes in different areas, and that's pretty much it. So like I mentioned before, you can reverse engineer. And one of the ways of doing that is using dev tools. Remix is based on React. So you can use React developer tools, and this is basically how you can reverse engineer a pre-existing app and then fill in the gaps. So in this case, for instance, I wanted to change the color of this area here, this background. So if I click on that, I can see that there's a hero component, right? And if I go to my IDE, there is a hero component. So from there, because I'm still learning the integrations that they have here, I haven't been able to inspect the source path of the particular component like I have been able to in other projects, such as in Next, I've been able to do it. But in this case, what I do is I just use the name of the component to actually find the component in the actual source code. And then I look at the HTML to get some indications of what classes are being used, so I can do a bit of a find and search type of deal. So basically, that's what helps you reverse engineer something that's already working, so that all you're doing is changing the things that you are interested in and slowly developing that knowledge. So those gaps are being filled slowly. As I mentioned before, I'm not much of a designer. So maybe you're asking yourself, wow, these colors are pretty nice. How did this developer manage to do that? Well, thanks to a couple of different people that created some amazing tools. One of them is a person named, and I'm going to look for this, Daniel Cranny. I'm sorry, Daniel, if I messed up your name, but I actually follow him on X, and he's really nice. Sometimes he replies to my comments, so that's really nice of him. But he created a tool called Color Hub, and the nice thing about Color Hub is that if you choose a theme, there's a couple of different predefined themes. It'll give you some different layouts that applies these colors, and you as a developer can have a better idea of, oh, this is how I can use colors in different scenarios. I know it helped me a lot. So thank you, Daniel, for creating that tool. It helps developers like me who aren't designers and don't want to. One of the things that Color Hub doesn't do is generate colors. Or Daniel, if it does, please let me know how. I don't know. You can choose to change or customize colors if you know those colors ahead of time. Now, I knew that I wanted 2 specific colors, but the rest of the colors, I didn't know what colors I wanted to use. So there's this other tool called Coolers or Colors. I don't know. Let's just go with Coolers. I'm pretty sure it's been around for a while. But one of the cool things that you could do with Coolers is that you can choose a color, right? And even more than one color. And then you can lock down the color. And then these 3 other ones can be auto-generated by clicking generate. See? And now you can see all these different color palettes that work well with those 2 that you know you want, but the others that you're not too sure about. So you can just generate and generate until you see something that you like. In my case, I liked this particular combination. And so now from there on, I took those hex colors and dumped them into Color Hub. And then I could see all these different layouts and have a better idea of where I wanted my thing to go. But that's not it. That's not the end. When you start choosing your colors, you might want to choose a slightly different shade of the color that you have. Tailwind has this predefined set of colors that have different shades for different colors. So your green, you'll have like a really light green. So you can have a green 100, that's a very light green, and then you can have a green 900, and that'll be a very dark green. So that's what's possible with these colors in Tailwind. But Color Hub doesn't generate these different variations or shades for the colors. It just gives you the base color and that's it. So there's another app that's called UIcolors.app. It's actually referenced in the actual documentation right here. So UI colors right here. And going back to where we were, where I already have these colors that I like, now I can start plugging these one by one into UI colors app, and then I can export these one by one into the Tailwind config, as you can see. And now I have access to all these different shades of the colors that I like. So why is that useful? Because now when I go to my new colored remix app, if there's a certain shade of a color that I don't like, I could try another one. I could go a little bit higher in the numbers. 600, 700, it'll be a little bit on the darker side. 300 and 200 will be on the lighter side. And one color might work better on top of a background than another. So that's what I use, is because it's very useful to have those different shades. You have a lot more flexibility to choose which colors that you like. So to wrap it up, always start with something that already works. That way you have a solid base to work off of. And you can use dev tools like we're seeing right here, React Developer Tools, to get more insight about how the application that's already working, how it's working, how it's put together. And then you can go back to the code and change what you want. You change the things that you care about, and you'll have something that's working. You won't have to start from scratch. You can fill in those knowledge gaps. That's the biggest advantage of doing this process. So I hope you get something out of this. If it was useful, please let me know. Comment and I'll respond. Thank you so much.